So happy to be with everyone today. We are going to do something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And basically, it's just play RPG with Jim in a group setting, but also be able to invite some fantastic people. For instance, Al Spader, who plays regularly in the game of the U.S.S. Pioneer. We have the amazing BC Holmes with us today. Of course, with the starship and character creator that we all know and love. And it would not be the same without Meric Moir. Make sure I pronounce the last name right. Give me a thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, good. And he is our amazing producer for this amazing show today. What are we doing? We are playing Star Trek Adventures 2E, the U.S.S. Challenger. That's right. We're playing the ship and the characters straight from the Quick Start Guide. And so as a go-round, just to start, why don't we have everyone go ahead and introduce yourself and the character you're playing. Tell us a little bit about that character. Of course, we're going to learn a lot about them as we play. And we're going to start in rank order. I think that's appropriate. So give me like a good minute and a half introduction on each of your characters. Let's start with the BC Holmes. You'll be playing the leader, right?
Sure, I'm playing Commodore Nella Zen. Nella Zen is a joined Trill, although secretly joined, not known to the general population. I think she's a mature woman with a warm, medium to darkish brown skin and short hair, which she keeps in loose curls. Her Trill spots are a bit shade darker. And I think that, she's not the twiggy little Hollywood type. I think that she is a medium imposing woman and definitely has an air of command about her.
Love the introduction. Love it. And I think the next one in rank order would be Dr. Varel. Would you be appropriate as rank order?
I mean, I suppose I'm a doctor. I don't have a rank per se. Some would say that I outrank all of them. But yes, I will be playing Dr. Varel. She is a Vulcan medical professional, and she's not a traditional Vulcan, however, because she does feel that some emotions should be embraced and experienced to their full. Logically, she feels that joy and excitement makes a person's body chemistry better. And she learned this when she mind melded with an energy being that was ill and she could not communicate. So the only way that she could figure out how to treat it was to mind meld with it. So we'll see what comes forth from this Vulcan.
Fantastic. Okay, so far we have a Trill, who's not known as a Trill yet. We have a Vulcan. Again, these are all in the Quick Start Guide. And then we go over to Mr. Meric Moir. You're playing Lieutenant Commander who?
Burke Van Jaxa. So he is a Tellarite engineer, thinks of himself as a bit of an inventor, and like many other people in his culture, loves a good argument, loves to tell you what he thinks and why he's right, and show you the fallacies in your own side of it. He grew up in a mining colony, and so he spent a lot of his younger years trying to make all of those things just work, stay together. And so when he went to Starfleet, just the engineering corps was exactly where he wanted to be.
Amazing. Love Tellarite engineers. All right, good. And that leaves us last but not least with our Lieutenant Junior grade. Jim, tell us about them.
Linear Tennant is an ensign. He is fresh out of the academy. This is his first posting to the U.S.S. Challenger. He is just like many Starfleet Academy graduates. He is brilliant, enthusiastic, and naive. Very naive. He's still wet behind the ears. Got a whole lot of learning to do. He's a Betazoid, and he is very excited to be here. He is the communications officer on board the U.S.S. Challenger, and has been assigned to this particular mission that we'll be embarking on here momentarily.
Oh, that's right. My mistake. Ensign, Tim. Someone's green. I love having the green officer here. And so this is going to be an interesting story. And of course, as any Star Trek story should start, we're going to get to that in a second. I want you all to know what the layout of these shows are that we're doing. We're actually going to be 3 different shows for continuing conversations. Each show is going to be covering an act. And so we're going to be taking a break, a 5-minute break between each act, at which point, of course, we'll do some post-production to get it into 3 weeks of amazing continuing conversation podcast. But we thought, what better way with the release of 2E to show people the rules, right? So just want you to know that's how it's going to lay out. So stick through this because it's like Deep Space Nine, one of those 3-episode amazing storylines that we're going to be doing today. And again, what better way to start the story but with Captain's log? No, we're actually going a little different this time. We're doing an officer's log. So Jim, why don't you give it to us?
All right, we ready to just jump right in?
What else is there to do but play?
All right, let's do it. All right. Gosh, I haven't done this in a while. All right. Personal log, stardate 7581.3. When I graduated the academy and got posted to the U.S.S. Challenger, I hardly thought I'd be going undercover with my fellow officers to stop smugglers from trafficking contraband through Federation space. We've been on board the SS Tranquil for 5 days now, and we still haven't been able to locate the explosive compounds. But I do as duty calls. Not that life aboard a luxury cruise liner is all that bad.
Very good. Okay, good. So we're going to round out some details. I don't know, Meric, are you showing like the U.S.S. Tranquil, what it looks like while we're...
I absolutely can. Also, are we starting with 8 threats or what are we at?
Oh, of course, yes. 8 threat, 2 per character. Very good.
All right.
2 per main character, yep.
Yep, so we'll have 2 there. In fact, I probably should note that too.
And let me know if there are any other traits that you want, and we can show that.
Definitely pleasure ship. And also we should have one, and I'll explain it to people as we go through, as I do a little set dressing here, is respect the privacy of passengers. That should definitely be a trait also. Al, do you have a suggestion? You looked lean forward into something. No, okay. So let me give a couple details. I want you all to know what I did before. I sent them some details just to give them some food for thought for the game. One of the things I did is I gave them more details about the mission that would be logical that Starfleet officers would know. Our officer, Ensign Tenon, had mentioned explosive compounds. Let me tell you a little bit about that and the background behind it. The explosive compounds were stolen from an Arbizon outpost 1 month ago. Go look that up in Memory Alpha, Arbizon. The Arbizans are members of the Federation. They go way back. The year, by the way, is 2273 is what we're playing in right now. So it's after the animated series, if you want to get a little piece of that in your head. The ISA system, go ahead.
For the viewers, we now have the U.S.S. Tranquil in the middle of our screen.
Fantastic. So you can see it there. The ISA system, and it's the SS Tranquil because it's not a
SS.
It's not
of course.
it's SS. Yeah, it's Federation. It's not Starfleet. We want to be very clear about that in this game, right? The ISA system is to the galactic north of Arbizon. So ISA 5 is a world of geological wonders with towering karst ranges and is famous for its aerial wildlife. That's only important because this is part of the tour of where the ship is going, and all the passengers on the pleasure cruise are looking forward to touring these karst formations. However, Starfleet knows something. The rebels are Arbizon traditionalists who desire separation from the Federation. So not everyone in the Arbizon government is happy to be Federation. The rebels use the karst formations, and just so you know, karst formations are those tall mountain-like structures that are eroded away. You might see them in China and Vietnam. They use those to hide their landing posts. They await the shipments of explosive compounds to transport off-world to support anti-Arbizon government efforts. Now, the SS Tranquil is a pleasure ship. Captain F.C. Agron commands the vessel and employs a diverse staff. So I'll go ahead and put that picture in our group in a moment so that you can see what F.C. Agron looks like, and Meric can share it with the rest of you.
Yeah. You just, as soon as you pop it into the chat, I'll put it in for the viewers to see as well.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that in a moment. I'll pop that picture in to the chat for all of you. All right. The monetary unit used on the ship, because of course there's gambling and a lot of things going on, is going to be quatloos. Okay, now that comes, go again, look that up. Quatloos, if you need to look that up in Memory Alpha. Starfleet has provided each officer with 1,500 quatloos, and a tour of the ship's bridge costs 1,000 quatloos. So this is a money-making venture. It's a pleasure ship. It's Federation. They got to run it somehow. All right. So I have written down, of course, things the players don't know, and they're going to get the opportunity to adventure through this. But we've already decided that during the 5 days, the characters have been involved in different things happening on the ship. So we kind of want to hear about that from you. And so I'm going to take it one by one about the activities you've all decided to participate in, and then I'm going to give you a little bit details about it, and maybe a task roll might even appear on it. Okay, so let's go in reverse order. Let's start with Ensign Tennant. Why don't you tell us, while you're undercover, what do you look like? What are we seeing? Because no one's using your uniforms here, I take it. So tell us kind of what we'd see if we saw you and what you would be engaged in.
Yeah, sure thing. So Tenon, working with the rest of the team here, decided to go undercover as a minor noble of the Betazoid houses. So he is going undercover as I wrote it down here. Hang on. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Awala's Bako, son of the fifth house, heir to the sacred diadem of Anshu. So he is not going to go on the bridge tour. He's going to spend as much of his quatloos as possible in the gambling casinos and whatnot that are on the pleasure cruise. And he is, being a young, boisterous, young noble. He had the replicators on the ship fashion the most opulent costume or outfit that they could manage, given his low status as a low minor noble in the Betazoid royalty, as it were. So it's not like all the glitz and all the glam, but it's probably a step above the your average cruise goer. Certainly better than steerage or second class. I think he's dressed first class, even though he might have a second class berth, right? But he's dressing above his station, basically. And he's here to he's been plying the gambling halls, basically. So that's where he's at.
So you're gambling. Okay, that's interesting. So I think we should get into that a little bit. I want to show you actually someone who's at the table with your character too. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat for us.
Which
and
chat
don't
are you
worry about
dropping
this.
Into?
I'll do it in the general chat.
Perfect. Yeah.
General chat. Okay, cool.
Yep. So before we get to meeting the captain and all of that, you actually have someone who's on vacation right now. It's Lieutenant Gabler of the U.S.S. Enterprise, and he happens to be gambling at the same table as you at this point. So his stats are up there, and you can go ahead and share, Meric, at some point the whole page with people that they want background on him. But I got to ask, what game are you gambling at? What are you doing? What gambling activity? What sport?
Wow.
Gosh, what would be an appropriate? Well, sure. Right. I mean, we could make a Dabo, right? I mean, I'm sure it's it's a common thing. Oh wait, no wait. The Federation doesn't know the Ferengi that well. Oh wait, but this is not a Federation cruise line.
Exactly.
That's
right. In fact, Gabler's saying, "Hey, come try this Dabo out over here. This is a new thing. It's coming from somebody from the Galactic West. Some people call it the La Ferenar or something.
Okay.
But we got an early lead on it. It's fantastic. You want to play it with me?"
Well, so Gabler is not undercover, but we are, right? So hopefully I don't know him. Hopefully I don't know him.
Yeah, you don't know him. You are. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, absolutely. I think if he invites me over, then I'll take my stack of quatloos on over there, and I'll say yes, please. Is he in uniform or is he in civilian clothing?
He's in civilian clothing, but he's been talking a lot about how he serves on the U.S.S. Enterprise, and a couple of them are on shore leave on the pleasure ship. So he's bragging a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's bragging about being on the Enterprise. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Well, then I'll.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
how many
I'll happily.
Yeah. How many quatloos are you putting up? How many quatloos are you putting up?
For the first go? Oh, I don't know, like 20.
About 20 quat lose. Okay, that's pretty low, but that's cool. He's laughing. He's on the Enterprise. He has 40 to put on there. But I think what you're going to do is be betting against the house, Jim. So I'm going to make this an opposed action. And just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and spin the threat on that. So that takes us to 7 threat. So I can throw 3 dice. This pleasure ship, just so you're all aware, it's going to have general stats of 11-2. Okay, so 11 will be not the attributes. The departments will be will be 2. Target number, yeah. So target number is 13 on this. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it, because this is opposed. This, of course, it means it's difficulty 0 to set up what the opposition level is on this to see how good of a gambler our ensign is. He's going to lose these 20 quat lose or not. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. I scored 3 successes. So this is difficulty 3 to see if Ensign Tenon is going to keep those quat lose or not.
Okay, and what do you think? Daring command?
That sounds good to me. I think that makes total sense. Yep. Difficulty 3.
All right. And I actually kind of, I don't want to intentionally lose it because it's a game of chance, right? But since this is Lanier's first time playing Dabo, what he really wants to be doing with these gambling is lean into his control and his psychology and his telepathy to kind of get a read on his opponents before he commits, right? So he's willing to lose a few rounds before he starts getting into the deeper gambling. But because this is new, I think just for the first time, I'm just going to go ahead and roll. I'm not going to spend any, I don't have any momentum to spend, so it doesn't matter. But I'm not going to add the threat here. So I'm just going to roll 2d20, daring plus, command. So that's my target number is 10. And I need 3 successes, you said?
And I'll let you use psychology on it. I'll give you even psychology as a focus on this. Gambling
psychology as a focus? Okay.
Yeah.
I rolled 2 successes, so that wasn't enough to get it. Even with the focus, it was I'm only rolling 2 dice, so I failed. So I lose that 20.
Gambler smacks you on the back. Don't feel bad, kid. Not everyone can have the luck of the Enterprise, as he stresses it again, as things are going on. so do you want to get any other, there's things going around here. You want to get information? You're on an undercover mission. Any opportunity you see here at this point?
Yeah, I think, I'll continue to bet 20. I'll go, I say, hey, Mr. Gabler. Or no, he introduced himself as Lieutenant Gabler, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So I say, hey, Lieutenant, let's take another shot at the Dabo table here and tell me all about what what's the Enterprise been up to. Like we've heard famous things about you far and wide on Beta Z. So what brings you to the SS Tranquil?
Oh man, after all the work we do and all the hard work that Captain Kirk puts us through, all these adventures, they give us shore leave. We deserve it because, I'm telling you right now, we see some insane stuff all day long. You have no idea. If you have half the adventure I have had so far on the Star Trek in your career, oh boy, will you have a lot to talk about. Is there any other information you want to get out from here? Because you're remember, you're looking for explosives, anything?
Yeah.
Any special role? I'll give you one more role to do. Or you can pass if you want. So I can come back. It's up to you.
No, I think I'll just say so. Has in all the crazy adventures that you and the Enterprise crew and Captain Kirk have gone on, have you had an opportunity to go to Arbizon?
Yeah, myself, no, I haven't gone, but I do know that, they're early Federation members. So why do you ask about them as he rolls his Dabo, whatever they do?
Yeah. Oh, just curious. We're on this pleasure cruise and we're encountering a lot of different people. And I think I saw a few Arbizon on J deck a couple of days ago. And just curious that, the Enterprise, you're always so busy from what I hear, going all across the Alpha Quadrant, and it's just a pleasant surprise to run into you here on shore leave.
Yeah, the one thing I know, Arbizon, like the women, they're like so stickler. They're so strict on things and no fun at all. Believe me, stick with the Orions, way better. I'm just telling you right now. If you're into that kind of thing, yeah, I'm just saying.
Well,
there are some Arbizon people here for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, and then I'll lose the next round, I guess, and then just say, oh, well, if you have any insights on where I can visit some Orions on the ship, I'd be happy if you pointed my way to them. I'm always curious to learn something new.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to win some more money if you're gonna get their attention. Just so you know. Let's get back to it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Cut scene. All right. So now let's go over to, you made a friend, which is nice. Tennant's kind of made a friend out there. He's working the gambling casino. We're going to cut over now, it looks like, to Commander Burke and JAXA. And tell us about your cover story. What's your cover story and what are you doing?
Yeah. So my cover story, I am Chaz Bav Krell, incredibly famous sculptor of metal figures, very towering, very large. I would say that most likely there probably is a real Chaz Bav Krell that I look similar enough to that we've decided to pretend that I am him. And I think I would probably be in like a hot tub right now, just trying to chat to a whole bunch of people and just enjoying the pleasure cruise.
Okay, cool. That's different than what you told me before, but I'm quick on the fly. It doesn't make a difference. You're going to tour engineering.
Oh, no. I want to tour engineering. That's a goal.
Oh,
that's a goal.
Got it. Okay. You know, the hot tub works. It's interesting who's in the hot tub with you.
Okay.
There's actually somebody who did the tour earlier of engineering is sitting in the hot tub to relax. And I'm going to send you who that is right now. It's actually quite impressive because this person's kind of on the news. They were on Federation News Service. It's actually T'Char. And T'Char is a score avian who had a little controversy actually a couple years back with the Enterprise of all people again. And you have this big avian character in the hot tub with you, feathers doused, and there's a couple other people, and he's saying, yeah, the engineering room was quite peculiar. I actually believe that some of the machinery seemed just so superfluous to me. I mean, I like simplification. I want action is what I want. Okay, you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'll say, okay, first of all, I would love to establish that I have looked at the technical manuals of this ship. Do I agree? Do I think that the engineering has superfluous things from what I've seen?
Interesting you caught on that conversation. Go ahead and roll a reason plus engineering difficulty 1 for me on that.
All right, reason engineering. Here we go. I'm really.
And if you have any kind of focuses that have to do with engines or warp or anything else,
it won't apply, as I rolled a 16 and a 19. My dice have not gotten the memo yet that we're playing 2d20. However, that is one success because I got 11 plus 5. Yeah, that is one success. That's
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely think that maybe some of the stuff was there just to show off, maybe, to impress people. You've noticed already the entire ship, the SS Tranquil, is a little gaudy and over the top, as you saw from the diagram. It has a whole dome of so it could be just something to glitter and give people. But you're definitely curious about that.
Then I agree with him, but that's not where we're going. I'll say, no, you need things like that in your engineering room to make it a more enjoyable experience for everyone. Everything needs to be
enjoyable.
You're there day in, day out.
What does that have to do with efficiency? I mean, when there's a crisis, I don't have time to jump over a bobble or look at a glittery light. I need to know how to get my crew and my people into safety or battle readiness as soon as possible.
In a crisis, but we're talking a crisis situation once every 6 months. In the 6 months in between crisis situations, you need to look out for your crew's mental health, and that means putting up a pretty picture every once in a while.
You, sir, are a fool. If you don't believe me, you go see for yourself. And believe me, that's why. What did you say? I overheard you're some sort of sculpturist?
That's right. I am one of the most beloved sculptors on Tellarite.
You stick to your art form, I'll stick to my art form, and that's the art of war. And I'm telling you, readiness is all. You should always be ready for war. And go see for yourself. I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, go see for yourself.
I will. And like just stand up and trudge away and go like internally, get to go to engineering.
Okay. All right. Good. And that was loud enough that enough people saw it that they'll probably be paying attention to you two for the rest of the trip, watching you guys argue. So that's good. All right. Let's go ahead and cut scene with that information over to, we're now going to go to Dr. Varel. Tell us a little bit about your cover story and what you're doing.
So Dr. Varel is dressed in tan and white robes, probably attributing to like 10 or 12 different religions from the quadrant. And because she has a pastime of studying galactic religion, she has decided to take on the nomenclature of Sister Navala, and has decided to walk around as a holy person, and has decided to go see the circus performance that is happening on the ship.
I love that. I'm going to need real quick, each of you, I need you to do something about the circus performance. We'll start with BC. What's one thing weird that's happening at the circus performance? I want to draw a picture of what's happening in this scene.
Intriguing acrobatics that involve gravity in multiple dimensions.
Ooh, love it. Jim, what about you? What's another thing that's happening in this circus?
There is a group of trained targs jumping through fire hoops and other types of acrobatic endeavors.
Great. I want to be there so bad. Meric, what's one other thing happening at this circus?
I would say that there is a significant number of crew bringing around exotic drinks from... I don't know. Where should they be from?
Tell us. Maybe you don't know. Maybe that's what's so exotic about them.
What if there's Zindi drinks? And on each tray, cool. You've got a flight of different Zindi species. You got the arboreal specials, and you've got so there's at least 5 different kind of versions. I like that. And while we ask Al what his character is seeing at the circus, I'm going to ask Meric, could you actually drop in Agron to the general chat for them? I can't find it right now. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, and then give us one more thing. We're getting a really good picture of what's going on at the circus. Al, one more thing that we're seeing.
There's a death-defying act with 2 clowns that are, one of them is spinning around on a board while the other one fires disruptor blasts at them.
This is so good.
Sorry.
Thank you all for helping us. Go ahead, Meric.
Agron is the...
What are you going to ask?
Pandronian, yes?
Captain.
Oh, the captain.
No. I want you to put the captain for them to see.
Captain.
So they have it in. Captain, please. All right. So thank you all for helping me draw the setting of what this looks like. Even the captain might be moving around a little bit, in and out, and then heading out for there. But there's also 2 other people in this setting that that your character, Dr. Varel, has actually identified as Starfleet officers, just overhearing and watching them for the 5 days. And they've been actually being cuddly the whole time, too. They've kind of being amorous toward each other. And there are these 2 characters, Lieutenant Ann Norred and Instant Walking Bear, who also happen to be on leave from the Enterprise, who have maybe struck up a romantic relationship. And they're at the circus also at the same time. You're there enjoying it. What are you going to do, Varel? What do you want to do at the circus? Anything in particular? Observing? Strike up a conversation?
I suppose that I would be, focused on enjoying the show. However, listening to the gossip that's going on around me, because people inevitably always whisper to each other about things that are either happening later or that have already happened, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just trying to listen in on, the people in the immediate vicinity of any gossip that's being whispered.
Interesting. So the captain walks over kind of in between Lieutenant Norred and Walking Bear, who are holding hands, and yourself, kind of, moves from behind to get in between you all, because he's just checking, he's being hospitality, and he looks at you and he says, Sister Navala, correct?
Yes. What is it that I can help you with, Captain?
I must admit, this is the very first time we've ever had a Vulcan scholar on the SS Tranquil. May I ask, what brings you to such a leisurely trip?
I believe that the religions of the quadrant need to be studied to determine whether or not logic would allow for some of these influences to permeate through our species.
This catches Ensign Walking Bear's attention, being a scholar of Earth history and religion as he is, and he says, "Well, what kind of religion do you plan to find on a pleasure ship, ma'am?"
I think that's the whole point of religion, right? It permeates at all times, and the more people that I meet, the more stories I can hear, and the greater the mythology becomes, which will allow me to someday produce my thesis on the effect of religion on the emotions of our people.
Interesting. Well, if you're that much into it, sometime you should travel to Earth and study the religion of the First Nation people, the indigenous people of the North Americans. Have you ever looked into that?
The First Nations, I have not done much study of Earth's religions. Is this something that they still practice, or is it something of the past?
Oh, no, it's carried on in tradition. It's very strong and cultural. Perhaps sometime, all of a sudden, she gets a tug from Lieutenant Norred. She's like, "You should see taking more of an interest in me than this woman, Ensign Walking Bear." He says, "Is that a direct order?" "Yes, it is, smoochy. The captain is more than happy to say, "Oh, we do have some religious services available on board if you're interested in going to some of those, ma'am."
Absolutely, I would love to contact with others that have similar interests.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you now, you've been there for 5 days, you're at the circus now. Is there anything your character wants to do in particular to gather some evidence or information about where could these explosives be?
So let's say that I've had some been to a couple of these gatherings of spirituality on the ship, and I would just as I'm participating or wrapping up with these exercises, I would be talking to people and asking them if they're planning on taking the trip over to Isa for any reason, and to see if I can get a list of people who I know are going on that excursion.
Oh, good question. I'm going to let you go ahead and roll an insight plus command on that. Difficulty 1 to see if you were able to gather enough information talking to people to figure out who's very excited about getting off at Isa for the tour.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, my insight is 10. My command is only a 1. I do have bedside manner, but that would only work if they were sick next to me. So I'm just going to roll 2 dice, see what happens. Target number is an 11. I got a 14 and a 2. So that is 1 success.
Okay. So some of the people who you know are going are Lieutenant Ann Norred, Walking Bear, Score. You have them as people who are going at this point. Also, Lieutenant Gabler, quite a few Arbizons. We'll just call them right now Arbizon A through C are going. And then a couple random people, but those are the ones that kind of stand out to you. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a good list to start with.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's cut scene over to Commodore Nella Zen. Nella, tell us what you're doing, what activity you decided to participate in.
Sure. So first up, I've decided to come as Melisa Pell, who is a bureaucrat and manager of logistics and supply at a science institute on Trill. She has like the world's most boring job. She makes the paperwork flow. She's uninteresting and blends into the background easily. And if you try to have a conversation with her, she starts talking about forms. But she was really interested in the spacewalk. In particular, she wants to get some pictures with her trusted holo photography equipment so that she can, see the outside of the ship and take lots of photos. Wink, wink.
Very good idea. In fact, why don't you tell us a little bit, since you're the leader of this, these holo photo are actually what? Because your group has them.
Indeed.
What are they actually?
I had suggested before the mission begins that we have holo cameras that are secretly tricorders so that we can carry them around, take pictures of things, and get lots of readings, etc. I feel like being on the outside of the ship is a good way to do an overall scan, looking for areas of the ship that look like they might have secret compartments and things like that.
Makes total sense. Just so you know, as a GM, there's no need for me to charge opportunity on this because when we were doing a little session 0, this is logical equipment that you're bringing in, especially if you're being sent undercover by Starfleet intelligence, right? So no need to charge the players for this. We'll call it a photo tricorder for this point. Okay, cool. So you're not alone. Of course, it takes a brave soul to want to do spacewalking. And so someone is going out with you also there. You have one of the guides from the ship is going to take you spacewalking, and we'll call that person is Lieutenant Spackler. Okay, Lieutenant Spackler is taking you on the spacewalk. And the only other person who wanted to go on the spacewalk and had the guts to do it is this character right here, named Ari Ben Bem. Yes, he is a Pandronian, and he's been making his way around the Federation lately after having some, political stuff going on their home world. Just so you all know, Pandronians can separate their body and head and all that kind of stuff, but he is in a spacesuit right now, so he's not going to be separating anything or else he will die in the vacuum of space. So you guys are outside currently walking externally. You've just actually come over the dome using magnetic boots to come over the dome and look down on all the tourists that are in the pool and that. And then you're moving to another particular part of the ship, and Lieutenant Spackler is marveling about the design and looking up at the spatial vista and stuff like that. What kind of conversation do you want to have, Commodore?
Sure. So can I just double check a couple of things? Are we tethered, or do we have suits that have thrusters on them?
They have thrusters on them. In fact, Lieutenant Spackler, if he needs to, can remote control them just in case you panic. But right now, it's all magnetic boots. Okay. And you will get some opportunities if you want to float around. He'll do that under safety, protocol and help you all out. But for right now, you're just magnetic boot walking on the surface of the Tranquil.
Okay. Then maybe what I'll say to Lieutenant Spackler is, this is such a gorgeous view. How about this? Why don't I take a bunch of pictures of you? Maybe with a bunch of different backdrops. Like, why don't you go over there and I'll get one like that.
Okay.
And then, maybe we can move a bit over there. And just for the record, I actually have 0G maneuvers. So although I'm not being showy about it, I'm also, trying to be as adroit as possible to get myself into a perfect spot where I feel I can, take some readings of different parts of the ship.
If any of you are comfortable with it, you can feel free to demagnetize your boots and, flip around in space a little bit. I want to assure you that I have safety protocols here. I can remote control your suits and bring you back down if you panic. But if you feel comfortable doing that, go ahead. So I'm going to let you do that. And you're going to need to give me, this case, a fitness plus security. Actually, no, fitness plus con, because this is spacewalking, right? So this should be fitness plus con difficulty 1 to see if you can go ahead and flip. Oh, but you want to take a picture at the same time clandestinely, right? So we're going to make this difficulty 2. Now, if you get a difficulty 1, you successfully do your flip. If you do difficulty 2, you got the picture you wanted to.
Okay. Right. And again, I like to believe that my zero-G maneuvers helps me out here.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So then my con is 3. My fitness is 9. So I'm looking for 12 or less on my rolls. And we have no momentum.
All these rolls and no momentum.
I don't think I'm going to ask for any threat here. Okay, so not as good as I would have hoped. I got a 16 and a 5. So that seems like 1 success. So I haven't, flown off into space here, but it sounds like I might not have gotten quite the photos I was hoping for.
You didn't get the photo you wanted. In fact, Lieutenant Speckler is kind of like, I thought you wanted to take some, pictures of the vista. You kind of aimed down at the ship.
This is my first spacewalk. I work in an office.
Okay. Well, feel free. I'll let you try one more time. Go ahead and give me another difficult.
Was that effectively a failure?
No, because difficulty 1 was the spacewalk. She did not get the picture.
Difficulty 1. Okay.
Yep. She did not. If she got 2, she would have got the pictures too. But I'll give you one more chance before suspicion starts raising.
Okay. I think your audio is cutting a little bit for me.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So reroll. Sadly, it's another 1 success. Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna ask: Are you gonna try to push it again? Because if so, it's going to be an opposed task against this person to wonder if you're a security threat or not, or you want to give up.
I'm doing a quick scan over my talents, see if I have anything that might help out. I am very interested in seeing what I can find out about here. So I think I'm willing to take the opposed task. I think this time around, I am going to buy an additional die with a point of threat, since we have no momentum at the moment.
Okay, well, save that for a moment, because I have to first set up the difficulty of the opposed threat to see if he's getting suspicious of you and whether this might affect the course of this mission, right? And so again, this is a standard crew for this ship. We've already said is 9 and 2, so the target number is going to be 11 for this. So let me go ahead and roll what the difficulty is on you, convincing them that you're just taking pictures of the space. Let's see. 1. So difficulty 1, and he'll believe your story. So if you can beat difficulty 1,
okay.
And this could be presence plus command.
Ooh, presence plus command.
Mm-hmm.
That's a much better roll for me. I'm sorry. So the roll here is just to persuade.
So that he doesn't suspect. He doesn't suspect that you're doing covert work right now.
All right. So since it's only difficulty 1, and because presence plus command is a pretty good roll for me, I'm going to stick with my normal 2 dice and do a roll there.
All right.
Okay. So these weren't great rolls, but conveniently they are both successes. So I've got a 15 and a 14, and those are within my presence plus command.
All right, and that gives you 1 momentum. You finally have some momentum in your pool, folks. Do you not see? I want everyone to know, from a game master point of view, I did this as a preliminary, saying, well, I'll make it all difficulty 1 rolls, and they'll build up some momentum in their pool. We see that dice did not favor them so far in the first round. Okay, cool. So you can now go ahead and you get 1 more chance to take a picture that's a covert picture that might help you out. So again, this is going to be your fitness plus security, or fitness plus con, difficulty 1 to just maneuver in space, and difficulty 2 to actually get the picture you want.
Cool. So this time I think I would like to use that point of momentum that we just created. And I'll do this roll again. This is not something that's going to use presence, so that's a sad thing. Okay, so I will be chattery as if I'm nervous. I've never been in space before. I'm so sorry. I'm really screwing this up, but I really wanted to get this picture. So if you'd like just indulge me for just a moment. I think I've got it figured out. Okay, so this is a much better roll. All right, so I have a 13, which doesn't succeed, but I have a 6 and I have a 3. So I think in total I've managed to get 3 successes because the 3 with my 0G maneuvers counts as a critical success. So I think that's 3 successes. And you were saying I needed 2 for the scan. So I think I've managed to buy back my point of momentum. Is that a true statement?
Very good. You just got a momentum is back in there. Good. So we're currently at 7 threat, right? And 1 momentum, right? And so I want you to know that there's some information you glean on this. So while you and the Pandronian are doing 0G maneuvers and the lieutenant's kind of watching an eye, this time you're a little wiser and you waited for the Pandronian to do something that caught the lieutenant's attention, which allowed you now, as you move to the underbelly of the ship and kind of got a wider scope, you do actually see something. You notice that the undersurface of the ship is generally the same type of, duranium titanium polymer, but there is a square area underneath where the pleasure dome would be, where it is a different shade slightly. It could be because it's a cargo bay, but it does, for how concerned of looks and everything that the captain has been and how great the ship looks, it's like, that was an interesting design choice there. So you do capture that, and now your time's up. Oxygen's running out, so you need to head back inside.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so with the intel you've all gathered so far, what's happened is you had set up where each of you had different appointments at the Spa and Wellness Center. And if anyone's ever been to a Spa and Wellness Center, oftentimes there's a central area between the different gender bathrooms where you kind of relax and have some tea and some coffee while you await your service, or where you can kind of, after your service, just kind of mellow out. So all of you made sure to schedule appointments because the Spa and Wellness Center only allows 4 people in at a time, so that you could actually talk privately in that little sit-down area in between the bathrooms and kind of see what you've gathered over so far 5 days. So we're putting you all together. You're in your nice little robes or whatever you want to wear that you're comfortable with, your sandals, whatever tea or beverage you want. And it's a private area here. I didn't tell you all before, the ones watching this, but I sent them privacy rules. And just like the same type of privacy rules you might have on a real cruise ship where, you have to respect everyone's privacy. And of course, this is interstellar, so there's telepaths and stuff like that. This ship provides you privacy. And so you know that you're not being scanned or being observed while in this room. It's just the 4 of you talking. So go for it, Captain. I'll let you take the lead.
I'll very casually bump into the other crew members and say, and do like a little bit of small talk. Hey, I think we were chatting when we were like getting ready to board the ship. You were the painter or something, and you were from like Beta Z. Do you want to grab a table and have some tea together?
That sounds delightful.
Yes, that would be good for the soul.
My luck has run out at the Dabo wheel, so I'm ready for a break and a drink.
Ooh, what's Dabo?
Oh, Dabo is an amazing game, my friend. You should spend some of your hard-earned money there and see if you can take a chance on the wheel.
I have Quatlus burning a hole in my pocket.
Well,
so this is the chance.
The Frizingles will be happy to relieve you of that money if you're not careful. So keep your eye on them.
I just had a great experience. I was out on the outside of the ship. I've never been out in space before, but I took lots of photos that I think, might look really good. I can like share some copies with you if you want.
And just so you're all aware, I just want to reiterate, you're in a private area of the Spawn Wellness Center, and you're all aware of each other's as being officers. So
Sure.
This is the chance to kind of plan and form. Just
We can drop the show.
We can be us.
That's what they tell us, that they're not listening in. I'm deeply suspicious. All right. I can share copies of my photos with you if you're interested. I would love to hear your assessment of them if you're comfortable telling me that.
Yes,
Be
sir.
happy to look at them.
And like I copy some of my photos over to the other other members.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do they learn from that? Let me know. So it seems like you're going to stay clandestine right now. So what information do you transmit to them with the photos?
I probably
And does everyone pull out their holo cameras too to transmit information? Okay, so go ahead and share information, knowing it's secure with your tricorders, I suppose.
So I'm gonna call up a couple and just point to how beautiful the stars are, and then I'm gonna pull up the one of the underside of the ship, and I say look at this, this is a beautiful shot of the ship, isn't it? Look right here, where you can see the interesting machinery doing all the machinery stuff it does.
Can I investigate these pictures and see if I see anything suspicious from an engineering standpoint?
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Wrong button. You catch the same. You have actually the same kind of concern about the makeup of the composition, discoloration, and you also notice something when you compare the notes of the engineering schematics that you notice. Some of the superfluous conduits and engine finagling kind of lead to that area on the schematics.
Interesting. So I'll say, Commodore, sorry, what's the species of the avians again? What are they called?
Parmesan?
No, that I was
the
in
avians, the score.
Yeah, the score.
Yeah.
I met a very argumentative score at the spa, and he said that the engineering section was overcrowded. I feel as if we should investigate. Oh, I think he was suspicious as well. He said that he was very involved in war, and so maybe he is perhaps a part of this whole rebel thing we're investigating.
That's an interesting theory.
Yeah, Michael, I'm curious. With my focuses in shipboard tactical systems and deep space communication technology, do the pictures that the Commodore provided, do the conduits and the stuff resemble or tie into communication devices or communication systems or shipboard tactical systems?
Thank you for asking that. I now need you to do a reason of engineering difficulty 1 for me with your character, and they can and they can go ahead and use. Let me look at their focus again. Definitely communications technology would be would be a good focus.
All right, so reason engineering, and my target number is 14 with a focus. I'm just gonna roll 2 dice. I got 2 successes.
Okay, good. So you have another momentum.
Excellent.
Actually looking at the schematic and some of your perusing for the last couple of days is because one of the things is information from the ship's computers would be great to have, right? About if you can get it. But you've noticed that the bridge is actually cut off from any other systems in the ship. And they claim it's because of security, because they never want people using outside computers to get in and be able to access bridge systems. But this is totally an independent bridge system. In fact, it kind of boggles your mind, because if it's independent and separated and from the engine room, how is it that it's communicating relaying information between the bridge and the engine room? That's something the schematics do not provide for, but you as a con officer in communications would notice.
Interesting. Well, I will relay that to the engineer, if nothing else. Commander Jaxa, look at this. Isn't this obvious that the bridge of the Tranquil is completely separate from the remainder of the vessel?
Oh, fascinating. I wonder how they're operating the ship. Ooh, I wanted to get down to engineering, but maybe I should get to the bridge. I've still got the qualities for it.
There is a bridge tour. It's starting to feel like this might be an essential part of our trip here.
Dr.
It's certainly an expensive tour, though.
We're in a post-capitalist society. We shouldn't worry about such things.
Well, I'm just saying, we were only given so much, and the bridge tour costs 2/3 of what we were given. So
you all could still gamble and hope you have better luck than Tenon.
I was going to say, I'll give Tenon a friendly sort of like shove on the shoulder and be like, it's just too much Dabo.
I need to play a game I can win.
Dr. Viral, any input to?
Well, I mean, there are 4 of us. Perhaps 2 of us make our way to the bridge so we don't waste all of our quatlus, and the other 2 can try to go to the backside of the engine room and try to figure out what's going on down there.
So the thing about going to the bridge tour is like this is almost certainly going to be a sort of, button-down, high-security sort of scenario where they're going to not want us to push buttons or get too close to the computers, and we want to push the buttons and get close to the computer. So I wonder if this is like calling for your classic distraction and active participant scenario.
I can be very loud.
Yes, although I kind of feel like maybe you're ideal to go to the engineering. But, okay, so here's the thing. I kind of feel like the ensign is probably our best person to play with controls on the bridge, and our engineer is the best person to play with things in engineering, which means the other 2 of us have to be the distraction. Okay, we'll have to come up with distractions here.
You can fake a medical problem.
Let's.
Oh no,
Yes.
you're not. You're not a medic right now.
Let's do this. We're gonna go ahead and hear how you divided up the 2x2, how you're gonna split the party, and a basic of the plan. You can make it up once we get there too. Once we get to it, but why don't you tell us how we're splitting the party, and we'll take our first break.
Okay, I think I will go to the bridge. Doctor, you accompany our engineer to engineering. And then when I'm on the bridge, I'm going to fake a medical emergency.
And Ensign Tenon will be going with you to the bridge since they're a helm officer, right?
Doctor, did you bring any medical supplies? Could you give me anything that could fake a swelling or something like that?
They're in my room, but we would have to go there and my med bag there.
Yeah, I'll let that be automatic. I am going to have you roll, of course, when we get back from break on the kind of medicine you give. And when we get on the bridge, how that effect happens. So just so you all know, we're ending Act 1, hatching a plan to investigate more about the SS Tranquil, to find these stolen Federation, these explosives that are going to a terrorist group, allegedly. We're going to see Commodore and Ensign going to the bridge. Meanwhile, we have Dr. Varel and our Tellarite engineer who will be heading to engineering. Of course, we're going to pretend that in between this commercial break that they hatch their plan and they get their preparations ready. And we come back next week. We're going to continue the adventures of the crew of the U.S.S. Challenger on the SS Tranquil.
All right.
Yay.